everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays Dead Cells, where we actually, dare I suggest, won our last run, which is kind of incredible. Get off the screen, mouse pointer. Activate the boss source cells. One boss source cell activated. Difficulty null. I mean, it has a 1 next to the skull. The boss foundry allows you to upgrade all your weapons to the ++ level, allows you to unlock the next boss source cell. Sure, why not? Whoa, seems like something has changed around here. Get a little spiked boots, get a little repeater crossbow, and, excuse me. He doesn't know what's up. I believe now that we seem a few more enemies here, wouldn't you? So, whoa, my God. A single hit has done that to us. It does seem like there's a few more enemies. It seems like they do more damage, and I believe... Well, that might be a little rich to suggest after getting hit one time, but I believe that when you make the difficulty higher, those doors that previously I have found inaccessible become accessible. So I have no idea, really, what this run entails for us, but we'll see over time, I suppose. I'll be the first to tell you I hate this build. Shield might have been a little bit more appropriate, but like, repeater crossbow, I've never managed to use, I think, to great success. And then if you combine that with the boots, I'm just like not convinced that the boots are basically ever good. See, there was a scroll back here that I missed. So I'm gonna go back, get the scroll, go to the sewers. We're going for a scroll-rich run. I don't know, there might be another chest here. We could almost like rush it down. What was our last... Oh, no chests. We're at 53 seconds. What was our last build? The one that ended up succeeding? It was a tactics build. Oh, secret. I.e. probably like a little gold. Or not even, just a slightly faster way to make it down here. It was a tactics build with a purple scaling weapon. So we probably won't be able to make that happen on the regular, but hey, it was nice while it lasted. Spartan sandals. So, now that we can actually upgrade again, I think our old approach makes a little bit of sense. And what do I mean by old approach? I mean, like, we could save our cells and use them to upgrade whatever weapon we're using. Right now, I have no idea what we're leveling into. Kind of just spreading the love. Symmetrical lance, but we have 0 cells. Mutations, you know. For now, I do feel like saves you once if you meet a premature end is a really smart mutation to take early. It's had a tendency to be useful for us, and I'm happy to keep it going here. Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because if we fix it, we're likely to break it. That's like the subtext there, because we've only ever succeeded once. To a permanent end, at least. Is this our... Yes. So we'll probably put this level into tactics. Now, I know some of you out there, some of you so-called Dead Cells geniuses are going to be like, hey, NL, why did you sell the phaser when you don't have any skills? And the answer is, because I made a mistake, okay? I was about to make up some kind of strategy that maybe would have made a little bit of sense, but there's no strategy to speak of, really. I didn't think about it, and I don't respect the phaser as an item. As of right now, I actually have, like, no confidence in our ability to reliably kill enemies. For now, I'm gonna keep pumping up tactics because we know it has a history of working. We're gonna knock the ankles off of these guys. Grab a little bit of gold. Have I missed a scroll? No. Great news. So we're gonna continue. And by the way, it's out of a derelict sense of laziness that I haven't upgraded to the baguette update yet. I just kind of feel like this is the wrong time to upgrade because I've just finally cracked the freaking Da Vinci Code of how to actually, like, accomplish things in this game, perhaps. One sec. There's a shield up there. This is very not good. Oh my God, the light's on and everything. Hello. It's a secret room or the ability to teleport? No, it's a new treasure room. That's cool. And Extra damage on a burning enemy, and enemies release a toxic cloud when they die. Apparently, I've been talking to people about the Baguette update, and they say that, why do you get stunned? You get stunned if you get hit in the back, maybe? They say that it's actually, like, transformative, and perhaps the thing that I'm most excited about is they say it makes gold relevant. Which is really what we need. Excuse me, why did you break instantly? So we're really just relying on poison to do the job for us here. Certainly, I feel like we need reduced cooldown. We're doing so little damage. I feel like it's comical. There we go, we finally made it. We get Ice Shock. 50% damage when your health is at its maximum. I don't know, dude. I kind of feel like we can roll Ice Shock Repeater Crossbow. That took so long. I was really hoping to get some kind of amulet out of it, but yeah, that was... We got a comically bad build right now. Cooldown reduction is definitely, like, on the list of things that are basically essential. And you know what mutations we're going to take. Like, I don't need to suggest that we're going to offer up some kind of weird strategy here. You can be pretty confident of the path that we're going to take. You know, we want to hit the ossuary. We want to do that before 6 minutes rolls around so we can get to the time door. Or, the ramparts. And by getting to the ramparts, you know, we're going to get 2 extra scrolls, which will make up for a little bit of our equipment deficit right now. Or at least an equipment deficit as I see it at the time being. It's actually a pretty big step for us here to get a magnetic grenade. What's its elemental synergy? Extra damage on bleed. So we have no, like, combinatorial synergy there, but at least we have 2 things we can throw out when we actually have to fight. We're still doing okay on time. I have a feeling the ossuary can't be too far away here. But this is, equipment-wise, this is a very bad build right now. But if I'm being real with you, we won our last run, and it was probably one of the worst runs I've ever had in the early game. It got better. Oh, dude, all damage taken minus 10%. Absolutely. And that has cluster bomb synergy, even though the cooldown on these is just going to be, like, extremely prohibitive right now. We really, really want to get over here. We're still going to keep going for tactics right now. Like it's Ogre Battle 64. I do see an Ivy grenade. It's not an Ivy grenade every time, dude. It's a Biter Swarm, but we're not going to invest in it because it's a... It just doesn't seem to fit right now, even though I imagine it can be good. And I've been told that it can be pretty good as well. Lightning Bolt is good DPS, but I don't think... Well, maybe it's actually applicable on this run. We're out. I think we got almost all the scrolls, and we're keeping our pace up here. Most importantly, I'm excited to get out of this floor so I can take the cooldown reduction. And already, now we can use both of our grenades every 8 seconds, which is a start. A very, very, very slow start, but a start nonetheless. So I got a renewed sense of confidence. Run very quickly because we only have 30 seconds. You know roughly how it goes. You're just rolling until you find a way... Oh, you fool. Until you find a way down. The way down probably contains time door access, but may not. I see the scroll. I see the scroll. It opened up my eyes. I saw the scroll. Life is demanding without understanding. Let's go. We had 2 minutes. Oh my god. It's actually an 8-minute door. So we definitely did not need to rush, but... Truth be told, this isn't that bad. So our new synergy is very weird here. And I think that it's, right now, highly suboptimal. We have damage that scales with red for our skills and purple for our primaries, but our primaries are terrible. At least in conjunction with one another. So the main reason we're taking, and that was just horrendous, but the main reason we're taking purple is for cooldown reduction, because that's where the bulk of our damage comes from. But it would be nice... I mean, really, it would be nice to emulate our last run. And end up with like a death orb. Because the death orb is just incredible. With purple. Scales with purple and does a ton of damage. And then also on top of that, of course, it has the cooldown reduction as well, which is hugely important. But scroll-wise, I don't think we're in a terrible spot. We're in a real bad spot in terms of HP, but apart from that, not feeling too bad. Dude, the poison, not that bad. We have some fundamental problems with this run, but honestly, at its core, I believe there might be a decent chance for this run to, you know, get to completion. And this is Black Bridge entrance as well. Not right here, but on this floor, so usually that's actually where runs pick up. Because you get the scroll from the Black Bridge, you get usually an upgraded weapon, and actually, as long as we can make it through the Black Bridge, we should keep in mind we're going to have the blacksmith, i.e. the forge. So we should be able to pick up a new weapon there of our choice. And honestly, I kind of feel like the consensus right choice is going to be a frantic sword. A purple scaling weapon. It worked for us last time. If we're lucky enough to get the kind of elemental synergy we're interested in, then it could be incredible. So we got, I'm just noticing, by the way, a different class of enemies down here than we're used to. I see another scroll. You know, we're not used to seeing those kind of like guardian type enemies this early. There we go. I was wondering where that scroll was. We would desperately like to grab some kind of primary weapon. Yeah, like a fast primary weapon would be a great call. I know, like, repeater crossbow sort of seems like it could work, and maybe on a long enough time scale, it could. If we can really upgrade purple, and then we can get, like, a frost blast to lock enemies down. Like, cold shock is okay, but it mostly just slows. It doesn't actually freeze. Did we miss anything? I always like to check. So this is probably Black Bridge exit. I pretty much expect the boss to be destroyed. As much as I'm, like, on the fence about whether or not this run is presently equipped to do great things, I cannot deny that the burst damage coming out of this fire grenade is real strong. This would be a lovely opportunity for us to get an amulet. Please, there we go. And we did get an amulet. Brutality up and damage taken from projectiles reduced, which I think is huge, considering the number of times I get hit by these guys. But mostly it's stats and damage reduction that I'm most happy about there. Wow, that's just horrendous. Okay. Plenty of time. Like, considering we're about to fight the boss, plenty of time. We've been making gains in the speed department that were unnecessary, but welcome nonetheless. Okay, I actually think that Firebrands is way better than Ice Shock here. And now we have many more ways to enable our fire synergy. We actually also have the ability, excuse me, to kill enemies with our primary weapon, which recently seemed like an impossible pipe dream. So we're probably just about ready to go here. Yeah? Okay, I'm convinced. This works for the time being, at least. Well on our way to being one of the top 10 or 20,000 Dead Cells players on Earth. Excuse me, that's my kebab. It's a little embarrassing there. We are at the end of the floor, so it's really like, it's up to us how much more we want to do. I just almost always want to come down here just to see if there's some scroll action. There was a boss cell door. Sinew Slicer, extra damage on a burning target. Much faster recharge time. I think that might be better than cluster bombs. Actually, I think it might be better than our fire grenade. I know that seems like... Well, let me spin you up a reason why, okay? It scales with purple damage. It can be used much more frequently. Like, we might as well use it and just see. Okay, well, doesn't really tell me what I want to know. But it recharges quickly enough, and we already have a fire enabler on our X button, so... That seems great, right? Oh, not a really good idea there, but... Considering we no longer need anything special to enable... Oh, there is a secret down there. Considering we no longer need anything special to enable fire synergy, I think this is okay. And then the cluster bomb does scale with fire damage, so... Like, that's still doing a bunch of damage. Let's go down to the Black Bridge. I think we're ready for this boss fight. We'll try to replace Repeater Crossbow with, maybe, but also definitely a Frantic Sword. And I'm gonna go for the classic... Excuse me. Well, what about... Let me think about green. Recover 3 HP after the death of an enemy. You know what? I'm willing to give this a try. I think I've used this in the past and not to great success, and 3 HP is very little. But when you think about floors where this will be useful, yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Why not, right? Why not? We're here anyway. So I'm expecting this guy to die real quickly. This is not as quickly as I would have expected, but... Yeah, actually, it's not nearly as quickly as I would have expected. Terrible use of that. Maybe we should just keep mashing X, like... Might be advisable to just keep him on like as many stacks of fire as is like literally the maximum for the game. Okay, if you could just frig off for a second. I gotta heal up, which is an embarrassment. Well, before we start saying this is like a negative run, let's keep in mind chunking this guy up pretty good. And it might be a situation where we're better off against basic enemies than we are against bosses. Plus, it's still super early. Okay. You know, actually, I think we should probably replace our cluster bomb with a death orb as well. If we're gonna go for purple, that seems like the consensus #1 choice. And if we can get lucky and get a death orb that, well, we have to see how much it costs to upgrade to level 2. It might cost 100, so we might not be able to upgrade anything. Costs 75. We have 111 cells. What do we want the most? I think I want a death orb. I really do. Doesn't do extra damage on a burning target, but it does give tactics +1. What? You can get stats out of these bad boys now? I'm saving my cells for the... after the second boss fight. I still want that Frantic Sword. Death orb. Now there was a real orb. You would not be caught sitting around with no cluster bombs, looking real dumb in the dead cells. Way ahead of schedule here. And again, we'll be probably taking the path to the Forgotten Sepulchre next. And you know, my methodology from the last run, I'm going to apply it again to this run. For right now, whenever we have the opportunity to take anything, until we hit I'm not going to necessarily commit to that level 20 mark, but until we hit, you know, an amount where our damage seems like it might be useful for the late game, we're going to keep putting it in our primary damage stat. And if we reach a point at which, you know, our HP seems too low to survive, we'll start putting it in whatever gives us the most HP. But I'm banking on getting stuff eventually that should make that, you know, I mean, the thing is, you're hoping to get HP from alternative sources. Damage reducers, you know, scrolls in which you have no choice in the matter, and so on. So we got our first key already. These floors tend to be very scroll-rich, so I'm looking for these to be... I mean, I wasn't joking when I said that this is where your run usually starts to pop off. I'm even fighting enemies. I don't know why. Still have treasure, so we'll go back for that, obviously. How do we get in here? It's a weird room. Yeah, I'm starting to get confidence in this run. Especially, confidence is a neat thing here because we're rolling repeater crossbow, which is kind of terrible. Enemies burn when they die. I mean, this is really tempting. In fact, it might even be better. I know this does extra damage on a burning target, but I don't know if it can compete with the heavy turret. Like... I think you will see what I mean here. When you see the reason for heavy turret, you will be ashamed of your words and your deeds. So we're coming this way. Because if we can save a key, if we wanted to, and this is really, in this situation, just a situation where, in situations like this, I'm just riffing on the fact I keep repeating the same word over and over. Isn't it that weird? Hello. I want to see this heavy turret work. Does heavy turret have shots pierce the first target? No. Not this one, anyway. Look at that damage, though, dude. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, we should get in the habit of skipping the first area, and this is something you might think this has come from the comments. This is from the brain of Northernlion himself. I feel like if you skip the first door, hello, you're going to like it because you can leave the floor whenever you choose instead of having to look for a second key because you always have that first key. 100% damage on a burning target. We do take double damage, but dude. This scares me, but also opens up a full projectile-based build. Just looking for scrolls here. Oh, I hate these enemies, man. I don't know why the wall jump is like... Or the wall run, I should say, is so hard to get after the first one. Whoa! Definitely cannot afford to be hit by that. Get out of here. This guy's dropping scrolls, too. So, now that we're taking double damage, you might suggest that it would be a good time for us to... you know... raise our HP slightly. I'm going to agree to disagree. Let's take a look at this crossbow again. A long fire inflicts heavy critical damage. This might sound like a silly question. Is there a difference between a crit and a heavy crit? Wow. I just ask because, you know, well, in Magic the Gathering, they always say do what the card says and exactly what the card says, so I just want to make sure there's no ambiguity here. This run does seem like it will probably get me killed. I did not even see you. I'm gonna heal up. I think we just need to rework things for now. And remember that, like, you know, we don't have to be next to enemies to make this run work. Remember, we have a little bit of... It's not really lifesteal. It's gain health on hit. I'm going to go for it. Honestly, I'm going to go for it. I don't care about the boots. You take plus 20% damage. No thanks. I'm going to raise our HP so that if we make it out of here, you know, we're going to be in a better position in the future. And we're gonna try to kill 10 enemies real quick, despite, like, you know, not even being able to see them. Okay, there's 2. Thank God for this turret. Still, oh, another scroll too. Still highly ahead of schedule. So one more enemy. The scrolls are coming fast and furious now. And I think we did make the right decision popping them into HP, even though we did get this one right here that's going to allow us to pop more of it into HP, but you get the idea. Curse lifted. We could leave whenever we want now. And we should. Like, for real. Extra damage against the burning target. It's always tempting, but I don't know. We got a build that seems like it's functional right now. I want to remove this crossbow from existence. Because of the extra damage on a burning target, I think I've allowed it to kind of mind flood me into thinking it's actually good when it's not. So, just checking to see if there's scrolls over here. Definitely in the market for, like, just not using it anymore. And if you're cool with that, I'm cool with that. Biters couldn't make it back. Up. Alright. So we're gonna go to the Forgotten Sepulchre. I think we should replace the ice crossbow with whatever we can find that fits the bill. We really still do want a frantic sword, so if we can just beat it, worst case scenario, if we can just beat the boss, which actually is still going to be pretty difficult because of the fact we're going to be taking double damage for a floor here. Why double damage? Well, why did I think this was a good idea? Well, in my, you know, Dead Cells naivete, I thought that the fact that it has plus 100% elemental synergies seemed like a more appropriate thing to be worried about than the fact that we're going to be taking double damage. So that was obviously idiotic, but, you know, we'll try to make up for it on this floor. We did raise our HP greatly. So I'm just going to continue to go for some stacks here. We're not really betting on... We're not picking based on our current build, although to some extent we are. We're picking based on the fact that I expect to be able to afford a Frantic Sword, assuming we live, and then that Frantic Sword having extra damage is going to be awesome. Sorry to do this, gentlemen, but need a lantern as soon as possible. Oh, my lantern. See, it kind of works. Probably the worst Death Orb throw I've seen in a long, long time. That's a little bit better. Alright. So as you can see, I mean, I wasn't even really sweating it down here. And that was pretty great. I mean, from afar, this thing does a lot of damage, but I think with our current synergy, it might be a far from good. It did like 2k right there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm banking on our burst damage being able to carry us through this boss. Hear me out. What if we hit him with a freeze? Oh no. What if we hit him with a freeze? I'm looking more for single targets. What do you? This is not a. No enemy in this game is a single target at this point, apparently. Okay, keep going. Go for damage. I have like a combo that I think will work. You freeze them with the crossbow ASAP. Again, will not work against multiple enemies, but. Oh. It's always nice, and I think this is the position we're starting to get into here. It's always nice when you're doing a run, and you're like, things look a little weird, and then as the run goes on, they become much, much more manageable. You know, this is a run where things have gotten better for us as time has gone on. Sometimes that's not the case. I won't say it's the norm one way or the other, but... You know, it takes all kinds in Dead Cells. I think I really don't put a whole lot of stock in the lifesteal perk, because 1 HP extra from the upgrade doesn't seem like that much, but it's probably worth 1% of our overall HP to give that up. You know, and we're really looking for situations where an enemy summons like a swarm of 15 biters. Then we can regen a decent amount. Did we break that lantern? That just broke over time, I'm sure. So we're trying to find the exit, and we'll pick up all the loose ends later. I will give this a shot. Still, I think I've done one of these in the new series, and that's it. Our new thing seems to be getting like 80% of the way through it, and then taking damage against a trap. So let's focus. Who knows? Maybe this is... Maybe there's greatness to be had here. Alright, you're gonna burn. Please. Just be cool. You got a little bit of time. You have actually like the definition of a little bit of time. No! Oh my god, you took me down to 1 HP as well from that. That hardly seems fair, honestly. I was standing right in the middle of it, but come on. Okay, we're up to 17 in our damage stat. Although it might seem risky, remember, there's no way later we could get a scroll that doesn't give us an HP focus. Any scroll that has 2 things, by definition, one of them is going to be HP. You know, if we get a purple and red, we take red. If we get a purple and green, we take green. If we get a green and red, we take whichever one is better for us in the moment, in terms of, like, the actual number gained. And those scrolls are out of control. So we're already up to 19 perps. Thank you, lantern. Let's hit this other lantern. I really thought you were going to miss on that, which is why I was unperturbed. Thank you, turret, for blocking the shot. It's like the other unsung thing about turrets I always forget to mention, is that the fact that they can block shots makes them super useful. There's our second key. Now, I really don't want to leave yet, because it's not just about having scrolls so that we can, you know... It's not just about having HP so we can beat the final boss. It's about having HP so we can beat the castle, which is difficult in its own right. Cursed sword. Incredible. And, you know, taking double damage is incredibly bad. What's not horrendous is the fact that we do have a little bit of damage reduction, don't we? Amulet gives us damage reduction. Not much, though. But certainly not enough to compensate for the HP, or the damage doubling. So, that ice crossbow, in spite of its own damage, it's gotta go. cells. Ooh, those cells. Can't you sell dead cells? You guys like Skinner? Hey, free treasure. At this point, I'm not gonna do it. We might be too close to the end of the floor. Believe you me, I was running the numbers in my head. I was thinking, you know, that's a lot of HP. Is it worth it? I don't believe it was. But for a moment, I thought. Perhaps a better Death Orb? It does extra damage on a burning target and gives tactics. Straight up, we take 2 Death Orbs. And now... Hold up. Now this run is weird. Amazing. Like, look at this. Especially... Oh my god. With a little turret action? Oh, please face me. Not turret action, sorry, Death Orb action. Did you see the speed at which he spun? Did you see the speed at which he spun? And yet we murdered him. It ended up being kind of crap, like what we got from him, but dude. Doesn't matter. Actually, at this point, you can't convince me that anything here would be worth it. We out of scrolls? I get a sneaking suspicion. We're starting to find ourselves out of scrolls on this floor. But I'll call it. As of right now, I think this is like... This is our exit as well. I think this is the best damage we've ever done. There's the clock room. I expect the boss to actually melt. And then we'll take a frantic sword instead of this crossbow, which effectively doubles our HP. And I'm feeling like... I don't know what could stop us at this point. The castle, of course, but... Dude, this is... I mean, it's a potentially historic moment. We're going for a dead cells streak? I don't know about that. Let's not get too cocky. Freeze him first. Didn't really freeze him. Did a ton of damage, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I agree. Let's finish this. Go ahead and hit me one more time, like... Oh, that's bad. We have cheated death and been brought back. I died. Wow. So much for, okay, well, you know what this came down to? We did lose a bunch of cells there. You know what this came down to? The double damage. This guy was dead. He was melting. My hubris also got the better of me. I never should have taken the double damage crossbow. If we ignore that, I think we got a real chance of victory. Instead, I learned a valuable lesson I've already learned 2 times before. For now, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. That helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.